And we will try to do this once in a while so that few aspects of trader psychology or concepts we can cover. I had taken a webinar with Elon Markets I think a month back, and I'm going to use a couple of slides from that event just to start the discussion going. I could have discussed various aspects, but I thought that the discussion on psychology can be like a series. And let me first take up the first point, the first pointer to discuss psychology. And later on, you can come out with your pointer, your experience, and then we can stress on that. We can discuss that. So I had a beautiful realization when I read this, Dr. Van Tharps, is that you do not trade the markets. No one does. Now that might sound surprising to many of you. If you're reading this for the first time, I'm quite sure that what are you saying that I don't trade the markets? But what you really trade are your beliefs about the market. Okay. Furthermore, your ability to do so is tempered by your beliefs about yourself. This means if someone truly understands this, I'm not saying that if someone truly understands this, he'll become very successful or rich. No, but the psychological trauma or psychological, he'll be out of that that trap, that what's happening to yourself or to your portfolio, to your money. So let's break this down. If you cannot understand what he says and what we can make out of it, let's break it down. I have put in 3 words. You do not trade the markets in red. You actually trade your beliefs, and the last one is yourself. So let's just try and understand this. We do not trade the markets. No one is trading the markets. We trade our beliefs about the market. Let's try and understand this. So if we take a look at Asian Paints, what we are trying to understand is we don't trade Asian Paints. We don't trade Nifty. We don't trade cryptos. We trade our beliefs. So let's come to Asian Paints, and let's say if you figured out Asian Paints was in a downtrend, Asian Paints was giving a bounce back, Asian Paints had started to come down, and if I had shorted and it had fallen, right? So this is some kind of a swing short trade like aim and shoot, or Asian Paints have created some kind of a PCD. I buy the divergence. I bought Asian Paints, it went up, I make money. There can be million types of such technical rationale of buying and selling. There can be thousands of fundamental rationale of buying and selling. There can be emotional rationale, like Asian Paints is down 12%. It's a very good quality stock. We will buy at 2600. Let's try and understand. We are not buying and selling Asian Paints. We are buying and selling our beliefs that if the chart behaves like this, it has a chance to fall. So are we actually trading Asian Paints, or are we trading our beliefs? When we see an aim and shoot, do we actually trade that instrument, or are we trading the belief on aim and shoot? When you find a stock fundamental ratios to be really attractive, are you actually buying into that company, or your belief that when a company shows such a ratio, it's a good positive sign, I should? So going back to that paragraph, let's try and understand. Let's say when you join a technical program like this, and I explained various aspects about charts, and I explained to you my own beliefs that do a swing trade or a pullback trade, it's better than a breakout trade or a hook trade. So these are all my beliefs, which I have kind of formulated and structured in some kind of a content, which today is like an online program. 50 years back, it could have been a book. 50 years down the line, it would have probably taken a shape of something else. It's my belief which I'm sharing with you, and it can become your beliefs also. And to some extent, a lot of course, our community members are trading these beliefs. So we are not trading Asian Paints. We are not trading Nifty or crypto or crude or aluminum, nickel. We are trading our beliefs that when this and this happens, this can happen. So let's get on board. So when this and this, some technical rationale, some fundamental reasoning, this can happen for any stock. So are we actually trading that stock or the company? No, we're trading the belief, our belief. And the last thing is the beautiful thing, that our belief, our ability to do so is tempered by the belief about ourselves. So this this word, okay, yeah. So this yourself or myself actually reflects in the beliefs, and the beliefs then finally reflects in actions that we do. I don't know if I've shared this beautiful line which I read in one of Devdutt Patnaik's book. Devdutt Patnaik happens to be a very pretty nice author, and he's written quite a few books. I don't know if you've read any one of them, but let me share one nice line which I read in one of his books, which I really liked, and I share in most of our sessions. And he said that first, the Hindi one is, जैसा आपका विश्वास वैसा आपका व्यवहार, और जैसा आपका व्यवहार वैसा आपका व्यापार. So let's translate this in English is, like your business will be your behavior, like your belief will be your behavior, and like your behavior will be your business. So when we are doing something, either in the markets or outside the market, as an individual, as a professional, as a father, mother, husband, wife, friend, whatever, our beliefs about that relationship, our belief about our life, our belief actually shapes our behavior. And it's the behavior which gets reflected in the business. If we come to the stock market, or yeah, let's come to the stock market. Let's say you take an example of Vijay Mallya. Did you used to notice his behavior? Will you agree that his business was a reflection of his behavior? And someone's behavior will be a reflection of his belief system, right? Right. So if you agree with me, taking an example of Mr. Vijay Mallya, you will notice it's everywhere. It's in your next door, next floor neighbor also. You'll notice if you have a pet dog also. You just have to be aware of it. So the way we trade or invest or speculate, or the way we live our lives as an individual, health-wise or wealth-wise, is going to be a big factor of this sequence: belief, behavior, accordingly the business. If we think that we want to invest and trade in the money only to make money and only to make money and only to make money, means only money is our criteria, that loads and loads of money, then probably that's not the right approach. We need to have the right belief system, because everyone who's in the market wants to make money, but most of them cannot make money. So there's a difference. So we have to understand the difference. So I would suggest that those who are senior enough, those who have been in the market for a pretty long span of time, you probably would try to start to resonate with this. What is my belief? No. Let's try and understand. The belief, what I'm trying to say here, is not making money. Making money is not a belief. Making money is a desire. When I get these emails and calls and WhatsApp saying that, sir, I want to join your course, and I ask some simple question, and I ask, and they all say that I want to make money. I understand that. But That's a desire, right? What is your belief? What do you believe in? I can. I'm a very optimist, and I will do it. It will be a reflection of yourself. Okay, so please take a closer look at yourself. How are we dealing with our health, wealth, relationships? It will reflect in our behavior. If I'm serious about um, my let's say my community over here, then I will be professional. I will be responsible. I will not fool around with each and every one of you, right? I will not try to sell a course, take your money, and then not answer your question. So it needs to reflect. My belief will get reflected in my behavior, the way I'm interacting with you, and the behavior will reflect in the business, right? So this few lines of Vanthar gives us the opportunity to please understand that as an investor, trader, speculator, what is my sequence of this belief, behavior, and business? So if I try to do this slightly, in a loose manner, starting with the last B, which is business. In this case of speculation, business would be my net return, end of the year, how much I'm making. And your behavior will be essentially the way you're trying to make it. Means, are you doing it in a well organized, learned, sorted, patient manner, or are you doing it whimsically, randomly? So this behavior is, are you a good, sorted, mechanical, methodical trader, or you are a random, whimsical trader? So that's the behavior. And if I go back further, behavior is the belief. Now, if you believe is, अरे यार ये सब कुछ नहीं होता है, चार्ज फंडामेंटल कुछ नहीं होता है, नीचे के भाव में लेके बैठ जाने का और फिर बैठे रहने का. So that belief, someone will say सब कुछ नहीं होता है, someone will say no, ये सब होता है. So everyone will have their own belief. Like everyone will have their belief about religion, everyone will have their belief about a political party. Everyone has a belief about everything. Similarly, I'll talk about from my perspective. So I need to have a belief. Okay, these beliefs are not necessarily right or wrong. These beliefs are just beliefs. They cannot be judged by anyone else. So what is my belief as a trader? My belief as a trader, investor, speculator is I have been doing this for the last 18 years of my life. And I've spent hours and hours and weeks and years closely monitoring movements of price up and down, etc. And so after this amount of time and dedication, and in these 18 years, I've not gone into some other industry and then come back. I've not done anything else. I've only done this. I've only looked into the market. And so my belief is I am now in a stage wherein I know that there is a method to this madness. I know few strong truths that is in the short term. Predicting the market is very difficult. In the medium to long term, it gets easier. A long-term investment portfolio should be there to benefit from the long-term trends. A short-term trading portfolio should be there if it's possible to make money. And so these are my beliefs that I can put in my last 18 years of dedicated time, energy, learning, knowledge, experience, expertise into work. My belief is if I'm not a good trader, I cannot be a good trainer. I can be a good trainer. I can explain concepts better. But unless I feel the trades, how will I be able to answer the questions? I could have written a book wherein no one asks me any question. I don't answer them back. I can be a good trainer when I'm not questioned, but then I probably will not be a good handholder or a mentor. Such are my many beliefs. I have quite a few beliefs like this. I'm taking my personal experience. You can think about it yourself. Now that belief, this belief of mine needs to get reflected in a behavior. Now what is that behavior? I think that a method is very important. I need to stick to a method. of trading, 1 or 2 methods. I cannot look for multiple things. I should not chase the market. Should not do emotional trades. Emotional trades are for fools. For this to do all these things, I need patience to wait for the right opportunity. I need discipline. I need that dedication. And when I'm down, I need that believe in me that I will bounce back. This will get reflected in my what? Behavior. And so you will see in few days there is no trades. I'm just sitting quiet. Behavior. You will see when the market crashes, I start to buy ETFs. So my belief goes into my behavior. My belief that ETFs are much more safer reflects in my behavior. I'm buying behavior. And then what it gets reflect to in my business. Belief, behavior, business. You can work on this sequence in anything. Are you a good father, a good son, a husband or a wife, a good colleague, a friend, a neighbor, a good human? If you have a pet, how's your relationship with your pet? Your belief, behavior, business. I can tell you the same thing about I have few fishes. I like aquariums in my room. So you can quietly sit down and think about anything about yourself and everything and try to bring this sequence. And business does not necessarily mean money. Business means how am I as a son, how am I as a father, um, as a parent. I think as a parent, I think success is when my kids respect me, not when they love me or when they look up to me and etc. But when they respect me, when I have my kids respect, I think that's the biggest success as a parent. As a son or as a daughter, I think would be proud if my parents are proud of me. I think that would be. In stock market trading, I think a pretty decent percentage consistent returns is fine. And there has to be you have to draw a line. You just cannot chase because there's no end. Just to draw a line, let's say 50 to 100% if you make in a year consistently for 10, 20 years, you'll be like, excellent, that's fine. So I thought that for these sessions, the series of talks that we'll have for psychology, the foundation is extremely important, or else I can talk about this bias, that bias, why stop losses get hit and why they bounce back. We can discuss this later. We can discuss why, sir, we book out and then it goes up further. Sir, how to deal with this? Sir, I get very scared after a loss. I cannot bounce back. So all those things which you experience as a trader, as a speculator, I could have discussed directly from those points. You would have probably resonated. You would have, kind of felt, हाँ ये तो मेरे साथ होता है. But क्यों होता है? कैसे होता है? And what is the base of that? I thought that today, I think we could have discussed this. So if you have never thought on these, so how did these things happen to me? And also, I read this line long time back. And these lines does not talk about this. So what I discussed with you right now is essentially is something that I've kind of collated, talking to myself over and over again, years after year, and kind of figured it out myself in my own way. Some book which I read, which triggered some thoughts, which started to make me think in certain lines. And so I thought, and so I think so right now, 2020, at this age, that everyone is first looking at the outcome, that is the business. Everyone, that is money, in this case, money. If you're looking for an arranged marriage, you want happiness from your spouse. If you are sending your daughter or son to some boarding school or some good college, you're looking for so the return, outcome, result, whatever you call it, is this. And everyone focuses first on this. So I would strongly request that if I'm sending my daughter or son to an reputed college or school, or if I'm changing my job, if I'm changing my field, that is, I'm looking at the result outcome. Is it a reflection of my behavior, and what is my belief? So try to do this. We can debate and discuss on this, because this discussion that I had with you tonight is purely personal. I've never discussed all these things with anyone at this detail. It's purely personal. It's kind of self-curated by collecting this from there and that from some other place, and through my experience as a person, as a trader individual, as a trainer, listening to, means the kind of stories that I've heard as a trainer. Trust me, at times, there are few stories which I don't want to share. They're so heartbreaking. I've had people reaching out to me who are literally suicidal. I don't even know whether they're still alive or not, whether they have pulled the plug or not. But I've heard such stories. I've heard people, calling me that they need help. Years of savings for a family event, they have completely wiped off. College money, tuition money, young guy loses off completely. So many such stories, multiple. I cannot, there's so many. And so I've kind of personally collated these learnings from others' mistakes and successes, my own mistakes and successes, my own mistakes in a personal life as a person, and forget the stock market, and closely looking others, family, friends, colleagues, mentees, and so we can discuss further on this. But what I can request you, that if you have never thought in these lines, which I'm quite unlikely that you might have thought, because I don't think anyone thinks in these lines, pick up the stock market trader in you. And जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, I'll tell you one more time. My belief is, when the market falls, buying ETFs is a smart thing to do, because index is much more safer than a stock. Index, it is made up of 50 stocks, so it is much more diversified. And if one stock within the index goes sour, goes back like Satyam, index उसको निकाल देगा और किसी और stock को ला देगा. So index will always perform. Stock may or may not perform. So when the market falls 10, 15, 20, 50%, I like to buy the index. To buy the index, there are two ways. Okay, sorry, वो बाद में आता. So what is my belief? When the market falls, I am going to be more into the index. This is my belief. Now मैं इसको करूँगा कैसे? My behavior. So I want to buy the index. I can do the index funds, or I can do the ETFs. So my behavior is more from the ETF point of view, because I can buy it, I can time my entry and exit. It is far more liquid, and I can pledge it. So ये हो गया behavior, and then I do business. So this is just an example that I shared with you, a very tiny, small example. Now I leave it to you. Stretch it further for not only your trading decisions or beliefs. You can have thousands and millions of such beliefs. Okay, and work at it. And if need be, we can discuss personal matters also. May not be very personal, but try and understand what we try to do, how we try to do what we do. That is a reflection of our personality. This yourself, the last blue word, yourself, personality. So if you had issues, if you have issues in your house with any family member, or if you had issues with your parents when you were young, etc., it will get reflected in your belief. That belief will get reflected in your behavior. The behavior will get reflected in your business. Trust me. It can be a 40, 50-year-old event. It can be an old thing. It can be an old belief जो आपको probably समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है. Why you are behaving like this? Why you're short-tempered, or why you're etc. So most of the time you'll find that the beliefs are like seeds. These beliefs are like seeds which consciously or subconsciously gets in place, and they take shape in our behavior, and then further they take shape in our business. Okay, we'll talk more about psychology next Friday also. I think half an hour we can talk. We can extend this further. But if we get this done, a lot of it will be like ha ha ha. Yeah. A lot of the rest of the talks will be joke, because the moment I know myself, what you think about me, what you talk about me, what you comment about me, doesn't bother me. I can, you can tell me anything, I can talk to you or debate, but it's not going to make any difference to me because I know myself, right? Chali, I think I've given too much of gyan to you on a Saturday evening. We'll catch up Monday morning for a mentorship trade meet, and we'll take this forward, the discussion on. But before I leave, discussions on psychology, this was more like a class, like giving you gyan and my experience. This gets much more better, deeper, and will have a far better impact if we discuss. That is, if it becomes interactive, or else it will become more like me sharing my own personal journey and my personal beliefs with you, right? Thank you.